What is it like being a client of Matt Stringfellow?
I would say what you impressed me since the first time we spoke is your commitment to your customers. You're Johnny on the spot, calling people back, except this last week, but we can cut that part out. You're always very quick to return phone calls. You're quick to be, on emails. I think your communication skills are good. Obviously, it impressed me that you were on your honeymoon and we're so thorough in making sure you touch base with me every day to make sure I didn't go over and buy that other airplane. And what's interesting is because your competitor wasn't reaching out to me. But I think that was that from the beginning, that's what impressed me about you. And then your willingness to explore things that maybe weren't in your wheelhouse, but you're like, we can figure it out together. Because I did talk to other brokers throughout the years, and they were hesitant to step out of an airplane that they didn't know really well, or that wasn't within their ecosystem. Didn't want me to look at something that wasn't within their group or whatever. And so that always frustrated me, where you were kind of willing to go chase whatever whatever bird I was looking at.
Yeah.
I think that's, one of your great strengths.
How much value do you put into my knowledge of aviation?
The value you bring in aviation, what I like, is you do not try to speak as an expert on something you're not. When I've looked at planes, like Gulfstreams, that wasn't in your wheelhouse. That G200 was outside your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
And you said, hey, this is not my expertise, but we'll bring people in. And we found a really great mechanic, if you remember, who came in and helped us. And we brought in some other resources that you found to kind of go through that bird and make sure we were good. And honestly, of all the airplanes I bought, that was probably one of the best airplanes I ever bought. I mean, I flew that airplane for 6.5 years. So I think where your knowledge is good, you'll say, and where it's not, you'll be like, hey, I'm not sure, but we will get people who do know. Instead of just saying, I can't help you. Right? And so I never felt like you're just trying to sell me an airplane. I've always felt that you were always trying to make sure that I was satisfied as a customer. That came first over just trying to move an airplane. It's actually interesting. I've actually tried to turn a couple of friends over the years onto you. And one of my friends did not use you and went through a series of went through a series of really bad choices of airplanes. And got really bad advice. And he ended up picking somebody who just was not the right person. And again, this is a typical broker. This broker was outside of their knowledge, wouldn't admit it, right? Just wanted a deal because he wanted a commission. Mm-hmm. We have walked on multiple deals that cost you commission, and I knew that at the time, but it was the right thing to walk. And even though I'm sure you would have loved the commission, I always felt like you wanted to keep me as a customer above all else. And for a lot of brokers, that's not the case. It's easy to become a transactional broker, I think, in this industry. You've never been that way with me. My favorite saying, anybody can buy an airplane, right? Anybody can come up with the money and go buy an airplane. But now you own it. Owning an airplane is a complex situation. You have to buy an airplane with an exit strategy when you buy it.
Right.
And a lot of people are so excited for the buy, they don't think about the exit. And I think you've always been good, where we've had something and we're buying it, you're like, okay, but when we go to sell it, this is gonna be a problem. So what's gonna be our story? How are we gonna craft it? So I think most of the time you're approaching it with me with, here's the exit. So the day you're buying it, you have to be thinking about the exit, and you've been good at that. And I think that for a new buyer is very important. I think the other real thing is you're honest with people. You have guys who call you and you're like, you probably shouldn't be buying an airplane. Yes, you can afford the $4 million, but you can't afford, the $50,000 a month it's going to cost to operate the thing, or $100,000 a month.
Or the insurance.
Or the insurance, or where you're at, competent pilots, or you want to fly it and you're not competent enough to fly it. I think you're pretty honest with buyers on that.
Well, thanks a lot, Aaron.
Of course.
I know we're going to do another transaction because this is for sale.
And we're looking to buy another airplane.
Buy something. So
we'll do transaction 23 and 24 in the next few months.
And in 2024.
In 2024. What a great year.
Thanks again.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Appreciate all your help.
Absolutely.
Thanks.